There are 5 distinct areas of Beverly Hills, and I'm going to share them all with you today, so stay tuned. Hi, this is Erik Brown, and I'm sharing with you the best of Beverly Hills, where we walk through all the latest and greatest that is happening in Beverly Hills. Now today, we're going to be going over 5 distinct areas that you may look at if you're thinking about buying and living in this area. Now my team and I are fielding dozens of phone calls and emails per day of people that are interested in moving into the Los Angeles or Beverly Hills area. And it might be if they're looking to buy, sell, or invest, and my team is here to help. And we'd love for you to stay on top of all the latest and greatest information for the area, specifically as it revolves around any of your real estate goals. So feel free to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and share this with any friends that you think may find this information to be valuable. I think that you'll find that my perspective is one that's really interesting because I am a transplant. I moved here several years ago, and so my experiences can be things that can be to your advantage. My lens to look around every corner can be something that you can take advantage of. So as we're diving into these 5 areas of Beverly Hills, consider my eyes to be your eyes. Before we dive into all the 5 different nodes, let me give you a quick highlight of Beverly Hills itself. Founded in the early 1900s, Beverly Hills developers were originally looking for oil. And when they didn't find it in the quantities that they want, they did find that they stumbled upon water and then decided, well, let's make this a town. And so as they did that, the area continued to flourish. Originally, many people that were working in downtown Los Angeles or in the industry in Hollywood wanted to get away from it all. And so Beverly Hills was a country. This was the area where they would go to kind of get away from the big city. And so Beverly Hills became that luxurious getaway for them. Now I specifically say luxury because Beverly Hills is one of the most expensive cities in the country. It costs very favorably to the East Coast as well as to the Bay Area. And part of this is because of the housing, but also because of the area itself. You'll find that there are a number of large lots, and Beverly Hills, just like Los Angeles, has top 5 weather in the world. It's extremely temperate. You don't get snow, you don't get bugs, you barely get rain, and it also has a really great and diverse economy and population. This continues to add value to the area. Beverly Hills, like Los Angeles, oftentimes is close to double the national average for home appreciation for the area, which makes the area very desirable to live in. Now you'll find with Beverly Hills that the services that the government and the municipality puts out are fantastic. Oftentimes fire and police will arrive in less than a minute. I went to a State of the Union address recently where I heard the mayor of Beverly Hills speak, and he was talking about how well the city is doing economically. And it allows the city to do some really great things, from having greeters and walkers, people that will check around the area, keeping the city extremely clean and well lit. All of these, again, add to the value of the city. Now, not only is the city really well run, but it also has excellent businesses, shops, restaurants, places for entertainment. Some of the great restaurants that I really like are Mastro's, Spago, the Honor Bar, Il Pastel. There's outdoor and indoor, there's rooftops and ground level. It's great. You're gonna wanna check it out. And the shops, of course, Beverly Hills is known for Rodeo Drive. You find the most luxurious shops in the world, the most expensive shops in the world, but you also find these really great local haunts that you can hit. The same thing applies to the restaurants that I mentioned. So make sure that you're not just hitting the big spots when you come and visit, and if you already live here, try and find some of those hidden gems. Now, what's really cool about Beverly Hills is it's not only a destination for tourists to be able to come and visit, but it's also really great for locals. There are phenomenal schools between Hawthorne and Warner, Beverly Hills High School. These are schools that are ranked as some of the best public schools in all of Los Angeles. But you're also going to find that beyond schools, there's really great municipalities like great sidewalks, great walkability. Also, public transportation is going to find a big uptick as the Purple Line is coming straight through Beverly Hills. It's going to be completed, depending on the phase that you're looking at, somewhere between 2024 and 2027. This light rail is going to add access to various sections of the city that are going to be much, much easier to travel to. Beverly Hills also is right in the center of greater Los Angeles. And so it's really easy to not only get to really cool sporting events, the Clippers, the Dodgers, the Chargers, the LA Rams, the LA Kings, the LA Galaxy, the LA Sparks, the list goes on and on of great professional sports that surround Beverly Hills and are easy to get to. But if you also have an outdoor kick, there's close parks. Wilshire Park, Roxbury Park, the La Cienega Sporting Complex, Cheviot Hills, the LA Country Club, Hillcrest Country Club. All these places go on and on where you can get some of that outdoor fix that you may be looking for. And of course, Beverly Hills is synonymous with its luxurious zip code, which is 90210. Now, of course, there's a few others, 90211, 212, but 90210 is synonymous with the globe of being a luxurious place, and that represents the center of the city. Let's now dive into our first of our 5 different sections of the city that we want to get into. And the first one we'll go over is the Beverly Hills Flats. Now, this area will span from Doheny to Whittier on the east and west side, and Sunset Boulevard down to Santa Monica. This section has much larger lots than is typical for the city, and because of that, you see really grandiose estates. Wide streets that will span 70 feet. There are no parking restrictions, there are no meters. It's really well lit. There are sidewalks for walkability. I will see influencers and TikTokers and YouTubers that are oftentimes filming in this area because it's easy to film and it is absolutely picturesque. In Los Angeles, there are over 40 different architectural styles of homes, and Beverly Hills is no different, particularly this area, the Flats. You'll find mid-century moderns, traditional, modern homes, Spanish, Mediterranean, the list goes on. And so it's nice to be able to walk and check out this area because it's so friendly. Lots of people will walk dogs, they'll say hello, you'll see kids riding around on their bikes. It's a great area to not only come and visit, but if you're looking at a great area to live, I couldn't speak any more highly of the Flats of Beverly Hills. Now, this area also for entertainment is right next to the commercial node of Camden and Roxbury and Rodeo Drive and Cannon, and this is where all of your restaurants and hotels and entertainment are going to be. You'll find some great shopping there that we spoke of before, and this whole strip of restaurants that you could take advantage of. And so I highly encourage you to be able to come and visit and check those out. The next area that I want to talk about, section number 2, is Beverly Park. Now, this area is in the Hollywood Hills, just north of the Flats. Now, what makes the hills and the Flats different? Well, as a highlight, you're in the hills, and so you have a little bit more privacy. Less people will drive up there. There are no commercial nodes that are directly around you that have the same size as downtown Beverly Hills does. And you also have these multi-million-dollar views that will overlook canyons or the city or the ocean, depending on how high you up are in the hills. And the day views and the night views are phenomenal. I highly recommend taking advantage of seeing them. The housing is a little bit different. This particular area has 2 sections, Beverly Park North and Beverly Park South. North is a gated community with 64 homes. South is a gated community with 16 homes. This area was originally in the 1960s going to be built as a golf course that was named after Dean Martin, but instead got turned into housing. Now, you'll find the absolute cream of the crop, the A-list crowd will live here. It's celebrities, it's hedge fund managers, it's internationals that will buy in these areas. They really like the gated community, they like the full services of the area. They like the fact that there is 24/7 security. There are no sidewalks in this area. There are no photographers that can come in. There's no photography that can be taken. It is much more private, but you do get those great views. You'll find that the lot sizes in this area are also a little bit bigger. There's lots of bikers that will bike through that want to get their exercise fix. And it's our first area that will have some really great wildlife. Now, you'll find in the hills, we'll see anything from hawks, a number of different types of birds, little lizards, coyotes. There's even the occasional mountain lion. So you want to be careful with your dogs, particularly with the coyotes. But you'll see deer, you'll see squirrels, all sorts of things. And it makes it feel as if you are absolutely outside of the big city. So this is a really good place for me to be able to stop you and say, what do you think so far? Hopefully you're getting to learn a little bit about the Beverly Hills area, and you might have a friend or two that's interested in this information as well. Feel free to share a comment, click below, share and save this with someone else that you think would be able to take advantage of buying, selling, or investing in Beverly Hills. Now, our third area that we're going to go through is Benedict Canyon. This is really close to Beverly Park. It is close to Mulholland Drive, which is what divides the Valley area, the other side of the Hollywood Hills, from the Beverly Hills side, which is south of the Hollywood Hills. Mulholland Drive intersects the city. So this area of Benedict Canyon is on the south side in Beverly Hills. You'll again find lots of wildlife, again 60s homes. It's a little bit more private, and it is close to a commercial section that has Jolie's Bistro, Vibrato Jazz Bar, a little marketing center with grocery store. It's really great because it's very mom and pop. There is a ravine that also cuts through Benedict Canyon, which is really picturesque, and you'll find that you're really close to the Getty Center, UCLA schools, and all of the entertainment and options that happen close to UCLA. Again, I had mentioned a little bit about the nature and the fact that this area is so private. Now, also with the hills, as we're experiencing warmer temperatures with global warming, you will want to look into insurances if you're thinking about buying in this area, because more and more of the hills are starting to become different fire hazards, and so insurances can be more expensive. It's something that you may want to look into. Just like with the rest of the city, the schools here, Warner and Roscommare Elementary Schools, are rated 9s or 10s on any website that you can find. So this is a great area to live. Let's move on to our next section. Now, our fourth area is very similar. It's called Beverly Clan. It's right adjacent to Benedict Canyon, and it has a lot of the same advantages. The big difference is, like the previous mentioned area of Beverly Park, this area is not gated. It's similarly 60 styles homes. It's a bit more private. This area is a lower price point than the flats, so the barriers of entry to getting in are a little bit less. The views are great, the privacy is good, it's close to UCLA, it's close to all of their schools. The biggest difference is this area is in the hills, and it's just a little bit smaller of housing stock, so it's a little bit more affordable. Now, mind you, the Beverly Hills average price point, as I mentioned, is one of the more expensive in the country. So you want to look at the different areas, not only for appreciation, but what makes best sense for your budget and what you're looking for. Now, our absolute last area, the fifth place that we want to look at, is what's called south of Wilshire. This is an area that is also in the flats of Beverly Hills, but it is south, of the commercial district, that Rodeo Drive and Wilshire Boulevard, where all the restaurants and the shopping and the entertainment are. South of Wilshire, one of the big differences is the lot sizes are normal. They compare favorably to the rest of Los Angeles. And because of that, you don't have these big astronomical estates. You have smaller homes. It does not mean that they're not expensive, and it doesn't mean that they're not luxurious. They're just more affordable because oftentimes they have less square footage and they have less yard and thus less amenities than some of these big, large estates. Now, you're really close to some awesome restaurants. The Lowry, the Spice Affair, places that I would highly recommend. The Honor Bar, if you go close to a street called Charlieville, which is just south of Wilshire. The area is so fun. Again, schools are fantastic. You can't miss a beat. You're really close to several different parks. Just north of you is the Will Rogers Park. You've got the Cheviot Hills Complex, recreational complex. You have Roxbury Park, a number of spots for you to be able to walk your dog, ride your bike, get some yoga out in the park. You'll find a lot of people are taking advantage of these areas. So that, my friends, is our 5 sections. I want to give you a quick highlight of them again. We've got the flats, we've got Beverly Park, we've got Benedict Canyon, we've got Beverly Glen, and we have south of Wilshire. These are the 5 nodes that I have shared with you today. And if you have any additional questions about Beverly Hills or Greater Los Angeles, you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in the American dream of home ownership in this section of the city, my team and I would absolutely love to help. Again, I invite you to subscribe to see some of our other videos. Comment below if there's additional insights or information that you would want to touch base on regarding Beverly Hills. Or if you have any questions, know that there is no pressure or no sales. My team is just here to be helpful. You can connect with us on phone, on our website, which also has our blog, or any of our social media channels. My team is here to help. You are one click away from your dream home goals. Let's connect. Bye.